Now, when you were writing your book that's coming out, it comes out later this summer in
Right.
August or thereabout, really just in time for fourth quarter,
Yeah,
really
exactly.
perfect timing. It's called Tough, Rugged Bastards. You know, all Marines are that. That's how I see it. Why did you come up with Tough, Rugged Bastards? And tell us a little bit about the story that's going to happen in this book. So my listener is going to want to go and get that.
Certainly. So, a real quick history. When in 1987, Special Operations Command was activated, and when it was, the Marine Corps was invited or to participate and send the Force Reconnaissance Marines over. The Marine Corps pushed back against that, said no, we don't want to do that. So that was about right when I was coming in the Marine Corps, and it took me a while to work my way into Force Recon. By 2001, I was the gunnery sergeant, and I was a platoon sergeant for a Force Recon platoon, sitting in a pub in Darwin, Australia, drinking beer. When because of the time difference, the television switched to the towers. It was like 10 o'clock at
Right.
night. So we were almost immediately back on the boat, headed to Afghanistan. So I hit Afghanistan in November of 2001.
Wow.
And as that was happening, the government was realizing that with this coming war, there was going to be a greater requirement for special operations forces. So the Army Special Forces was told to grow more. The SEALs were told to grow, and the Marine Corps was told, "Hey, you're going to participate this time around." And again, in kind of true Marine Corps fashion, the Marine Corps was, like, "Nah, we're good. We kind of like to keep to ourselves." But Secretary of Defense Rumsfeld, said, "Hey, I'm not stuttering. You're gonna do this thing." So what they eventually worked out was that we would form a test unit, and it was called Detachment One, and we would deploy underneath the SEAL infrastructure, and based on the success of that deployment, the determination would be made if there would MARSOC would be created or not. And I had the great fortune to be selected to be one of the team leaders in that unit. So there were four of us initially, four team leaders. There were gunnies and master sergeants, and a total of about 100 personnel total, to kind of across the shooters to intel folks to communicators, terminal air controllers, kind of across the mix. And we were called, like I said, Detachment One, and the commander was a guy who I had worked for previously at Force Recon, and he's really a legend in Force Recon, Colonel Robert J. Coates. And he was the kind of guy that I had worked for forever, but still, when he called you into his office, you stood up really straight, and you were nervous, all right, just to be around him. And so he called me into his office and gave me his expectations of what he expected of his team leaders. And one of the things that stuck in my head always was that he said, "Hey, I want, you get to pick your own team, but I want tough, rugged bastards with strong backs and hard feet." And so that, I went out and I found, a bunch of tough, rugged bastards that wanted to be a part of it. And that's where the name of the book came from.
So Colonel Coates.
Yes.
I feel like I should just stand up straight right now thinking about it.
Yeah, he was.
I feel it.
When a guy, as a young recon officer, was down in South America doing things like as like one of the few Americans down there. Just had a legend. And so when the opportunity came, I had worked with him with the Marine Expeditionary Unit. I had had him as a commanding officer twice, and then a third time with Detachment One. So it was it was a phenomenal experience. So we trained up, deployed with as a task unit. So we were called Task Unit Raider underneath the Navy SEAL task group architecture.
Yeah, task forces.
Yeah. Went to Baghdad.
Did you guys all wear the same uniform? You guys all wore the same uniform as SEALs to look the same? Did they wear the same thing as you?
We didn't work immediately with them. So there were SEAL teams doing their thing. We were doing our own thing, but we just reported to the SEAL. But we all wore at the time, the old kind of tricolor desert uniforms.
Tan, coffee stain looking,
exactly,
style, Desert Storm.
Yeah, and that's
well, actually that was more NATO with the chocolate chip, but you guys had the tricolor.
Yes,
colors.
And it was cool. That set us apart a little bit. We really, because of the requirements of this evaluation, they did not want us working with other Marine units. As they wanted to just kind of succeed or fail on our own. So we worked, like I said, we reported to a Navy SEAL task group. And occasionally we would do some things with them. We worked pretty closely with a Polish Grom unit.
The Grom.
A bunch of badasses.
Badasses.
So we had.
They love a piano. They have a piano lore about their whole thing with their piano. The Grom is awesome.
Yeah, we had, and it wound up being a really eventful deployment in 2004. A lot of raids we got the opportunity to go after. We were really sent there to target cell leaders and bomb makers and financiers and higher level folks. So it was a blast. We got to protect we were responsible for protecting the vice president, who was a Kurd, and didn't have too many fans across the board. The Sunnis and the Shias weren't real big. Nobody was really big fans of the Kurds.
No, but that's their land.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello, there's like 20, 30 million Kurds wandering all over what we call Syria, Iraq, and the Middle East. And these lines were drawn by the Ottoman Empire that just go straight down the map and just broke up their whole Kurdistan.
And they really separated them and kind of created this diaspora of folks that, and the times that we worked with him, he was a great guy. Vice President Raish Shawways, we didn't work. I didn't get the opportunity to sit down and chat with him a whole lot. He was the interim vice president, so they were kind of busy, trying to rebuild the country. Yeah. But that was a really neat opportunity. We had a pretty robust sniper presence, and so I got the opportunity to lead some sniper missions in different places. So it was a really great deployment. We came back from that, and ultimately the decision was then made to increase the size. So MARSOC was activated in 2006.
My background is a lot of war games. I do a lot of airsoft war games here in Utah. I work with a lot of people that, get out or never could get in, and they go and have a good time shoulder to shoulder, wear that kind of gear, and play war games. In that time period, MARSOC was coming out. There was like a 1911 pistol that was like coined to MARSOC. They get the 1911, I think. And then all of a sudden in airsoft, it was like, you got to have a MARSOC loadout. Yeah. It was like, you're the Kobe Bryants, you're the Michael Jordans of that day. And, everybody's like, okay, I need black knee pads with tricolor. And cause it wasn't quite, we're still dealing with old surplus stuff. So what's MARSOC wearing? Mechanics gloves from, the local Checker Auto or something like that, buying personal purchase stuff. Like the skate knee pads for skateboarding.
Yeah.
Right? Like the ProTech helmets.
Yeah. We had, at different times we wore all of those things, but we had, what was interesting was that with the pistol particularly, was the Marine Corps had held on to the 1911 for, long after everybody had gone to the 9mm. And it took all of the pistols that the Marine Corps could put together and our match armors to kind of rebuild them and try to get them into shape. And we were just convinced that you needed a man-sized round to to stop people. So to
stop a man.
We carried the 1911. We're super proud of it. But when Det-1 started, there weren't enough to go around, and so we went to Kimber and had Kimber build a gun for us. And I've got one around somewhere. It was we
such a popular gun for airsofters too. I'm not even going to kid. It's like, do you have the MEU or the MARSOC 1911? And it has the spade on the grips and whatnot. And, I just want you to know it's flattering
That's
for that
cool.
to happen.
Yeah,
right?
I was
Yes.
kind of flattered to looking up something, and the Marine Special Operations Reenactment Battalion like showed up, like MSORB, and I was like, what the heck? We've kind of made it now, and now we've got people dressing up and going out and doing
Right.
things. So that was kind of cool when I saw that. I'm sure it's grown a lot now, but this was years ago. So.
Yeah, years ago. And it was very underground and a lot of people might have mistook it as something other than, but none of these people are trying to get on a base in that gear. No one's trying to, they're playing like at the, 2-on-2 wearing a Kobe Bryant jersey. He's not going to show up to the basketball court and be like, hey kid, take my jersey and shoes off, bro. You're not me. What are you doing?
Yeah.
No, he's like, no, wow. Today's airsofter could be tomorrow's you. Right. They're out there, they're putting their boots on the ground already. They've already got the gear. They should just, now they just got to have the mentality and
some training.
And if you're thinking about enlisting, just go get it done and give it a shot and see if it's what is in your toolbox. You just don't know unless you try. That's all I can say.
Exactly.
Because who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure there are a lot of very successful, special operation folks across the services that have got their start. I got my start running around in the woods with, recreation, World War II or stuff on, or Vietnam, surplus stuff, pretending like I was on a long range reconnaissance patrol,
I'm still wearing it. Look, these are ERDL Vietnam issued. You know how hard it is to find a pair of 6'5" issued Vietnam kit?
Man, yeah, I can imagine.
That is hard. And when they showed up, I was like, and they're so comfortable. 1968 on the tag.
Wow.
I'm like, wow. How many farts could this thing tell me about? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've seen some things.
One time we were in the bush. These pants saved my life. I'm sure you did, pants. I'm sure you did. Oh my gosh. Now, how many? Okay, so how old were you when you enlisted in the Marine Corps? I like to find that out.
I was 17. I was
straight up
just graduated from high school, and I'd had already signed up and was already ready to go. Had a date, So it was I turned 18 in boot camp. So I had known from the time I was little that that's what I wanted to do, and so I grew up in the era where everything was about Vietnam. From all the TV shows and movies and Chuck Norris and Rambo and everything, and none of all of that. Just even the movies that were kind of meant to be like anti-war, or whatever. That didn't click. They were war movies to me.
Like the Dirty Dozen.
Yeah, that was absolutely one. I think Rambo was supposed to have some,
it's never over. It's never over. It's nothing's over.
Full Metal Jacket came out actually shortly after I joined, but that was a hugely anti-war movie that didn't register with us. We thought it was the coolest thing ever. So
Yeah, but I mean, you went in after that came out. So was anything like what you went through when you saw Full Metal Jacket? Did you say, "Oh, hey, he hit it on the head with his basic training," or did you think, that
came out? I saw that after I finished boot camp. And it was pretty quickly after. I think within a couple of months. We all were in infantry school and we went to go see it, and there were a lot of similarities, in boot camp, and the some of it that seems incredibly mindless, just getting yelled at, and he did a really good job with that, I thought. I really kind of wish I would have seen it before I went. I think it would have prepared me a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I think so. I think I had the fortune, I think. I quickly realized that the good fortune at boot camp was a game, right? I mean, you got to get through it. It's serious, and there's obviously stuff to learn, but a guy who can't be mad at you, because you're brand new at this thing, screaming at you in your face, if you could either take that to heart, or you could realize that, hey man, he's doing his thing, trying to make me better. And so, I I can dig it, right? So I'll play the game. I'll yell loud as he wants me to yell. I'll run as fast as he wants me to run. And then, when I get through with this, kind of proven, that I have what it takes, then I'll be ready to learn, whatever it is that these guys have to teach me.